All right, guys, we are live for the 13th consecutive Corvette Weekly. And before we get into any of the big information today, and we have a lot of information today, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the car show that I'm putting on here July 9th at Gibsonia, which is the Blackout Tinting North Pittsburgh location. So everything's up here on the screen for you guys. July 9th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'd love to have you all there. Of course, it is hosted by Horsepower Obsessed, but we will be there representing Vet Syndicate as well, because, you know, we're all a Corvette group here. Now, guys, I want to make this very clear. This is a show for you guys. This is not a show for me. This is a show for all of us. We're going to get together and we're going to talk about our Corvettes. We're going to show our Corvettes, but you don't even have to necessarily have a Corvette. If you want to show up in a Camaro, in a Porsche, whatever you want to do, I just want to see you guys at the show. So please, if you plan on coming, shoot me an email. Let me know you do plan on coming so I can get a food truck for you guys. If we get at least 50 cars in that lot, I will have a food truck on site for everybody to obviously enjoy some food. So let me know if you guys plan on coming to this. I would love to see all of you there. But guys, we are going to flip over to the screen showing Jason and Steve, Protected Dad Pranks and Front Seat Driver. You guys know them, but we are together Vet Syndicate. So welcome back. Like I said, guys, 13th consecutive Corvette Weekly. Oh. And we're here with all the guys. Say hi, guys.
How's it going? I don't want to speak over you. Exactly.
Look at that, guys. We're not even rude people here. We don't talk over each other.
Exactly.
All right, guys. So I got a bunch of comments coming in already. I want to say hello to everybody. Obviously, Vet Syndicate is in the house. We have a lot of information to cover today, and because of that, we are not going to go over any of the user rides today because we have way too much information to cover on the C8. So we're going to skip it for this week. We're going to push it to next Monday, where maybe there won't be as much information because we have so much to cover today. I honestly don't think we're going to have time. So let me just pull up some information here real quick. Now, have you guys seen the video I put out today talking about the price of the C8 Corvette Z06? I want to know what your thoughts are on this, guys, because I don't know. It's crazy. I did not expect to get any information like this. And I actually had this last night, pretty late last night. I had this information ready to go, and it was killing me. I wanted to bring it out to you guys, but it was so late that I didn't think any of you would even watch it. All right, guys, so the first super chat of the day comes to us again from Grandpa Barney. We know him. Huge supporter of the channel. Thank you so much. I love the fact that you are always here. It's an amazing feeling. He says, hi, Justin. Take the wife for ice cream. Thanks, all you guys. Best show in town. Yeah, PA, believe it or not, the last couple days here in PA have been brutally hot. And I mean, I came back from Florida thinking, oh, I'm gonna get a little bit of a break from the heat. I think it's hotter here than it was when I was in Florida. It's nuts. But thank you, Grandpa Barney. You're supporting the channel. You're supporting Vet Syndicate. You're supporting the future growth of this community. It's fantastic. Guys, like I showed there in the beginning, I am putting on that car show in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. I know it's kind of a drive for some of you guys, but I would really like to see you there. So even if you don't have a Corvette, please feel free to come down, say hi, talk a little bit, hang out for a while. We're all car guys at the end of the day. General Lee's in the house. What's up, General? Okay, so Davius says he hears GM is testing the ZR1. What are your thoughts? So we're going to talk about that because you guys know by now I've been talking about how there's not going to be a ZR1 for a good solid couple months now. And that they were going to skip the ZR1 and go straight to a Zora instead. They're just basically going to change up the naming scheme a little bit. We have some information about that. Blue Vet's in the house. It's going to be an awesome Monday. It's always an awesome Monday whenever you get us three, right? Especially Jason and Steve. They make the show.
We're quiet, but we make the show.
Exactly. We fill in those two other slots on the side.
Yeah, Hercules asked me, did I say Gibsonia, PA? I did. So Gibsonia, Pennsylvania, which is about 25 minutes or so away from Pittsburgh, maybe a little closer than that. It's real close to Allison Park. if you guys can make it, like I said, it would be fantastic. And I'd love to get a little bit of a head count. So if you can make it, please shoot me an email. Let me know. Because if we can get at least 50 people there, I'm going to get you guys a food truck as well. Grandpa Barney, Seattle is a way to come. It is, but you're dedicated. I think you could do it. Bull Run, what's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in. It's been a while. I haven't talked to you in a while. I kind of miss hanging out. We were at the last Supercar Saturday. I didn't see you there. Great White North Corvette says, good evening. Yeah, guys, we're, again, a lot of the same names tuning in here today. I love it. So, guys, like I said, we have a lot of information to cover today, a lot of Z06 stuff. So let's get into some of the later things because, wait, what's up for a food truck? Bull Run. I have a car show that I'm putting on down in Gibsonia. So Blackout Tinting, Gibsonia's location. If you want to come, July 9th, I'm going to be putting on a show there. And if I can get at least 50 people to RSVP, I'm going to have a food truck. All right, guys. So the number 2 super chat of the day comes to us from General Lee. Of course, General Lee, he's an awesome dude. Thank you, General. You're helping build a better channel here. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, okay. Bull runs in, he says. So, guys, like I said, the car show is going to be big. I hope to see you all there. But let's talk about the Z06. Guys, did you see the video I put out earlier today talking about the pricing? So GM nonchalantly leaked the price of not the price. Why do I keep saying pricing? The release date. They leaked it and accidentally. So with the new NFT minted green Z06, you guys have probably seen that by now. There's a green color coming for the Z06, but it's going to be just a one of one and you're going to pay for it. But in that situation, in the terms and conditions of that, on the official General Motors website, they put the release date for that minted green car as September of 2022. So the video I put out earlier is talking about that release date, but it also mentions the fact that right after they put it out, it was up for about a day before they deleted that part of it. So it was there, I print screened it, then they deleted it, and I print screened what was left after they deleted it. They literally just deleted the last sentence talking about the actual release date. So it was there, then they deleted it because they made a mistake and it wasn't supposed to be up there yet. So 2022, September. So yeah, that's basically when the car is going to be in people's driveways. That's not a production date. Now, what confirms this even further for me is a subscriber of mine actually sent me an email talking about what they experience at work. So they actually work for a company that provides a specific part to GM, and they have confirmed that production of the Z06 is going to start on Friday, August 26th at the absolute latest. So if it starts August 26th, it's realistic that you would see these cars in people's driveways in September at some time. So again, kind of confirming the fact that September is the day, or the date at least, that you're going to see this car in some driveways and on some roads. Now, there's a lot more to talk about this. I just wanted to get that out of the way first, that you guys know that the delivery date for this car is going to be September 2022. We've talked a lot about when we can expect this car. It is basically confirmed by GM at this point. It's going to be September at some point. So about a month, in that month somewhere. What do you guys think?
With GM, I ain't holding my breath. I'm still trying to get a Stingray.
Yeah, we'll see. Like you said, my worry is the magnetic ride. But if in fact they have put, to the side, what they need to, produce with the Z06 and the rest of us with the, Stingray get shafted, well, so be it.
Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know if that's the case. I've heard that that's what GM was doing, was they were stockpiling magnetic ride control parts for the Z06. And because of that, they were kind of limiting how many were going to go into a base C8. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it makes sense in this aspect.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I can say something on that when I was talking to the dealer if I'm ordering my Corvette now, and they said, absolutely, if you want to be top of the list, get your Stingray, get a non-mag ride Stingray, and you're going to go to the list. If you're trying to get mag ride, he goes, who knows? So that tells me there's some truth to them holding off those for the Z06.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, constraints in general are a real thing whenever it comes to ordering a C8 Corvette of any kind, but it's all up to GM as to whether or not they want to use those parts for any other cars. Now, I actually have a question in the chat here. It's about the EPA. So we've been talking a lot about that, about the Z06 being delayed because of the EPA. What you guys want to understand here is, even if it was delayed because of the EPA, I was very clear in the beginning that I could not verify it was an EPA problem, but there was a delay of some kind. If that's the case, it could have been delayed at any point. So if you think about how long it's been since we have heard information about this car since its initial reveal, at any point in that, 6 months it's been, when was it? Was that October, right? I think it was October. So it's been over 6 months. We have not heard anything. So that's a long time to go with no information. There could have been any kinds of delays or anything like that causing slowdowns at this point. It doesn't have to be something that just happened yesterday. It could have been something that happened 6 months ago and they've already corrected it. So again, I haven't confirmed that it was EPA related. That was just one of the things that was on the list that it could have been. One of the more likely factors for me, I think, would have been engine mount issues because of that flat plane crank. But again, no confirmation of that. I feel like I've mentioned this before in past live videos where I want to make it clear that these live videos are less about solid information and more about leaks and speculation, just so we can kind of bounce ideas off each other and see if we can come up to a reasonable outcome. I make the 5 to 10 minute long videos talking about information that's solid, and then we do the live videos just as a chat with some Corvette guys. But yeah, so the Z06 guys, the availability is going to be September. You're going to actually be able to have this car in your driveway in September, assuming, something catastrophic doesn't happen in the meantime, which, with the way the world is nowadays, is always a possibility.
Yeah.
All right, so Zora's Ghost says the Z06 base MSRP price guess for him is $99,995. Why should it be lower considering 150K Escalade V and 200K? Yeah, I mean, the issue with that to me though is that GM was very, very vocal about it in the beginning about keeping the price of that C8, the base C8, down. They wanted it to be start under 60K, and because of that, I think that's going to funnel on to the Z06 as well. It's going to be $89,995 all the way up to $92,995, depending on how much they want to really adjust for inflation. Originally, I was told by 3 different people in the know at dealerships that it was going to be $89,995. And my own math based on the C7 Corvette launch schedule and pricing scheme, it added right up to $89,995. So I think that's where we were until some of the most recent inflation. Now we're probably going to be somewhere around 2,000, maybe 3,000 higher than that. But it's going to be right. It's not even going to hit 95 to start.
But there will be a $50,000 upcharge for sure.
Oh, at least. That's the problem. Is like all the videos I make talking about MSRP and everything, everybody says that at some point. Well, yeah, it's great, 90,000 MSRP, but I'm not going to touch it for under 200. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, that's the sad part is you're probably right, but I'm not here to guess how badly your dealership's going to try to take advantage of you. I'm just here to tell you what the MSRP is going to be. And then, your dealership will put whatever on top of that. But all right, guys. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the information we have here today because there's a lot of it. And I'm going to start out pretty small. And this is kind of an interesting issue because GM kind of decided that they wanted to remove something from the base C8 that almost doesn't make sense. So let me flip you around here. We're looking at this on the CorvetteBlogger.com. It says, Chevrolet is killing the cylinder lock for the 2023 Corvette's rear hatch and trunk. Now, for those of you who don't know what that means, there is an actual cylinder lock for a physical key behind the license plate that will pop the rear hatch if your battery was dead. It's interesting because if you need to get in there, you still can do it. And I kind of understand why GM's doing this, but at the same time, it's really a weird thing to remove once it's been in there. So if you guys don't know, the battery's dead. To open up the door, you have to take the physical key out of your key fob, put it up underneath that side intake, and turn it, and that will pop open your door whenever there's no power. From there, there's no way to open up that rear hatch. You have to then go up underneath the dash and pull a wire that will pop the frunk. Once the frunk's popped, you have access to the battery. So you don't really need to have key access to the rear hatch. But at the same time, it's odd that they would remove this. Now, this article actually goes on to say that and GM puts this in their actual owner's manual for the 2023, apparently, it says, if you need to get in there for any reason, you have to obtain a 3-inch hole saw and literally cut into the body to get into that panel without power. So instead of just leaving the key cylinder there, they want you to cut into the car using a 3-inch hole saw. That was the part that was kind of crazy to me. What do you guys think?
That doesn't make sense at all. You ask me. How expensive could that really be?
Yeah. That's kind of my point. Scooter actually says in the comment section here, he said he heard about the cylinder lock delete. Curious if it may be a supply chain issue. Nowadays, it seems like everything is, so it probably is. But at the same time, depending on how you look at this, it isn't totally necessary to even have that there. Because you can get into the car, you can pop the frunk, and once you have the frunk popped, you can either jump the car or replace the battery, which would then allow you to be able to pop the rear hatch without an issue. So if that cylinder behind that key or behind the license plate was never there, I'd understand. But now that the fact that it is there and now you want to delete it kind of seems odd to me.
Yeah, that doesn't. It's got to be a supply issue. It's not that expensive.
No, it can't be. All right, so.
Well, I can tell you, being in construction, there's always stuff that we're able to get. It's a huge pain, and prices continue to escalate on a regular basis. So I don't see the price of the cars going down. Having issues with, we have a particular brand of shingle that we like to use all of the time, and I cannot get it always. I can get it sometimes, but I can't get it always. And I'm sure with the volume of production that GM does, they run into the same issues.
Yeah. Yeah, so Carrie Glock says a good point here, and this was always kind of a weird thing in my head too, is you need a screwdriver to take the plate off first, right? So if you're on the side of the road and your car goes dead for some reason, you weren't really going to be able to get in there super easily anyway, because unless you just randomly travel around with a Phillips head screwdriver in your pocket, which
I do, right, Steve?
Yeah, I saw that first. Someone got pulled over by the police. Video coming.
Yeah. Yeah, Jason attracts the police, it seems. I'm not sure why. But anyway, guys, we're going to move on past this. One other thing we've talked about a little bit on the channel was the front radiator grill guards. I have a set that I like specifically for the C8 Corvette, but Chevy has partnered up with Scrape Armor to bring the official radiator grill guards. So these are ones you can buy directly from GM, have them installed directly at your dealership when picking up the car, and they're made by Scrape Armor. I just wanted to play this for you guys. It's a little video that they put up on Instagram, and it's just kind of showing you what these things look like. Now, what's funny to me is that a lot of the look of these things is exactly like the ones that I prefer, which is like that honeycomb look of the C8 Vet Parts Online. So you can see there, it's just a tighter honeycomb shape to prevent rocks from getting in there. And actually, funny enough, over on the right, somebody commented on there and says, "Hey, why are you guys not releasing pricing for the Z06?" So not Z06 related, but it comes up anyway. It's kind of funny. All right. So,
Mhm.
what do you guys think of the radiator grill guards for the C8 Corvette? Is that something that, in your opinion, is needed? What do you think?
I don't know. I'd love to find out pretty soon if I could get my allocation picked up and have myself a C8. I would know a lot better. I do know one of my friends that with his, he actually took his out, spray painted them, put them back in to match the paint to the car. I thought it was a nice accent feature. Looked really good.
What color was it?
Orange. He has a Sebring orange, so he painted them orange, and they actually look really good.
Yeah. Yeah, General Lee says he's definitely getting the guards for his Z06. This is so I have no reason to touch this car. Yeah. Yeah, and the problem is, though, is that these particular ones that they have from Scrape Armor, unless they've also designed one for the Z06, they're not going to be the same shape. So they're not going to directly bolt on unless, you know, Chevy contracted Scrape Armor to also make them for the Z06 as well.
What do they normally cost, Justin?
It depends on which ones you go with. These ones, if I had to guess, they're going to be at least $200. You can get them as cheap as like 30 or 40 bucks, but it's just literally just wire that you slip in the back and then zip tie on. These ones actually bolt into the stock locations and stuff. These ones are going to be more expensive for sure.
Yeah,
But
well, Scrape Armor is a good brand. They make good
Yeah,
products.
I have armor, so
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Scrape Armor stuff for the most part, minus their ZR1 lip protection. But other than that, they make really nice products, and I'm sure this will be no exception. But the ones that I have installed on my Corvette and then on a friend's Corvette not too long ago were from C8 Vet Parts Online, and they actually double side tape to the outside. So if they get covered in bugs and road debris and stuff, it's a lot easier to clean those off than the ones that go behind the radiator grills. Yeah, Kerry Glock says you want ones that won't void any warranty. Really, none of them are going to void warranty as long as you do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bull Run says that his Lamborghini, he has a Huracan, that they look like a bad yard sale since he doesn't have any radiator grill guards. It is amazing at how fast those things get beat up. And it's also really surprising to me that manufacturers in general don't seem to realize how much of a problem that could be. Like, not just that your radiators will look bad, but if you catch a rock in the wrong way, the radiators aren't that thick. It will literally split that radiator open, and then you'll just be losing coolant everywhere.
I have a question, Bull Run. Where are you from?
He's up here by me. I know him.
Okay. I was going to say, because I have a friend named Matt that lives in the DFW area, also has a Lambo. He had a Huracan Performante, first one I had ever ridden in. His nickname is Bull Run, so kind of threw me there.
All right, so Mark Wright says his radiator is all dinged up from rocks and bugs because the cooling fins are very thin and easily fold and crush. GM says it doesn't affect cooling performance, but it does look bad. I agree.
And once they get able to fix it, stuff replace it, correct?
Yeah, there is not really an easy way of unbending your radiator fins once they get bent, because the metal that they're made out of is so thin, you'll bend like 5 of them trying to unbend one of them.
Probably like air conditioning fins.
Yeah, they're the same exact thing. Yep.
Yeah.
So USMC says, hello, Justin. I have not commented during each of the 13 times you have been on in your current format. However, I have enjoyed every one of them. Continue the outstanding job. Thank you. I'm sure I speak for all 3 of us whenever I say we appreciate it.
Definitely.
Okay, so moving on, guys. This is a really cool one, and this is coming to us from our friends over at the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum. GM files the 3rd refile of the Zora trademark name. So for those of you who don't understand how trademarks work, they do expire. So when you file a trademark, you do have to keep up on it. You have to continuously refile it if you want to keep it. So the fact that GM has now filed this 3 times in a row is telling me that the Zora is definitely happening. That's definitely going to be a name that they use. And based on some information that one of my subscribers sent me, I'm going to continue on with what I've been saying for a couple months now, that the Zora is going to be the car that replaces the ZR1 for the 8th generation Corvette. We are very likely not getting a ZR1 moniker. Now, instead of the ZR1, it's going to be the Zora. Now, this makes a lot of sense whenever you think about the fact that they're also replacing the Grand Sport name with the E-Ray name. Now, this is again coming to me from a subscriber of mine who makes parts for GM, and GM has to supply them with certain information for them to be able to request the parts in a certain formation, I guess. So basically, he has been told that there is a C8, an E-Ray, a Z06, and ultimately a Zora. Those are the models we're getting for the C8 Corvette generation. Now, initially, my thought of no ZR1 for the C8 was just based on the fact that they were changing the Grand Sport name to the E-Ray. And I figured they were going to want to play with the naming scheme a little bit. Since this is such a radically different Corvette, they were going to change some things up. Generally, I did see that article. All the pictures that they show there are either old pictures or could very easily be any other model of the C8. I don't think that they have any idea whether or not they're testing specifically a ZR1 there. I'm sticking to what I've said from the beginning, is that I don't think we're getting a ZR1. I think it's going to be a Zora. I think a lot of people who don't know or don't think that that's the case are just going to call the Zora a ZR1. The E-Ray a ZR1, the Z06 a ZR1. As long as it's in full camo, it's going to be impossible to tell what model you're actually looking at.
And it'll be 100% electric.
Yeah, that part I'm not 100% sure on, but it really, really seems that way. Everybody's going towards an electric car. I think the Zora is going to be a fully electric model. So we're going to have a hybrid, and we're going to have a fully electric model in the same generation. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why GM was playing with the hybrid idea with the E-Rays, to see if they could do it. Yeah, and that's it. Zora's Ghost says it exactly what I was thinking. He says having a ZR1 and a Zora would be redundant. ZR stands for Zora, right? And there are some people who say that. I have not found actual confirmation that the Zora had anything to do with the ZR part of ZR1. But it does make sense, and I have read some articles saying that, but I haven't found like actual confirmation that that's the case. Yeah, shiny fenders, it will be. The Zora will likely be an electric vehicle. So if that's the case, no ZR1, and instead we get the Zora at fully electric, and we're probably looking at a competitor for the Plaid, if I had to guess. So, yeah. So, guys, there was a lot of stuff, obviously, on the GM Authority website. They posted some pictures of what they speculated was a ZR1 doing some testing. Like I said, that really could be any one of the models out there. So, guys, if you're enjoying the content so far, please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content. It really helps the channel. It helps everything here grow, the Corvette community get better and bigger. I appreciate it if you could hit that thumbs up. We have 210 people actively watching, and we have 49 thumbs up. So it means we got about 150 people that could hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. So moving on, guys, we have another article from the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum. This one is showing some visual picture evidence of captured test fleet vehicle Z06s. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can tell this is a Z06, but just from this picture alone, it's that squared off carbon fiber steering wheel. And then, of course, that. And what this is, we've talked about the captured test fleet vehicles before. This is a car that is literally saleable, meaning once this car has hit production, that CTF or captured test fleet vehicle you're looking at right there is the exact same thing that will be produced for you to sit in your driveway. So that can be sold after the production starts as a some sort of discounted car since it's been used. So basically we're looking at the exact same car that would sit in your driveway if that's the spec you wanted.
I love that spec, man. I love there was a C8 Stingray at Corvette World that was basically obviously a Stingray, but it had the same stripes on the hood. You know, I'm a fan of stripes, and I loved it. I think it looks beautiful.
Yeah, this is very Batman-esque. The The black and yellow combination.
Love it.
General Lee says, my garage is readily waiting. Yeah. I saw some pictures of your garage, General. It's going to look good with a car in there. That's for dang sure. So, guys, another thing, kind of a confirmation of what's coming here is, since these are captured test fleet vehicles, the VIN number is not branded with an EX at the end, basically saying that they were experimental. If you look at the early test cars here, you can see EX at the end. Those cars cannot be sold. So the experimental vehicles will be crushed. They will not be sold. The captured test fleet vehicles, however, are the exact same cars that we will get for production cars. So the fact that we're seeing captured test fleet vehicles out on the road means that whatever problem there was with the Z06 supposedly has been solved and the car is ready to go. So this is good news for all of you guys out there waiting for the Z06. This is fantastic news. All right, guys, the third super chat of the day comes to us from Ralph Cruz. Who else, right? Ralph Cruz really helps support the channel. I appreciate it so much. He says, so I'm confused. If there's no ZR1, but it will be replaced by a Zora, and you said it will be all electric, then what happens to the twin turboing of the ZR1? So initially, what he's referring to is there was a leaked document back in late 2019, early 2020, that showed the release schedule of what GM was going to put out. And they had a C8, base C8, obviously. They also had a Grand Sport on there. Then they had a ZR1 and then ultimately the Zora. So I think some of the information on that was not 100% accurate, or it's very possible that it was and GM decided to just change some of it. My big thing with the ZR1 being twin turbocharged was they never really said much about how the engine was going to differ from the Z06. And that was a big one for me, because twin turbocharging the flat plane crank of the Z06 did not sound like a great idea to me. For anybody out there who understands how the flat plane crank engines work, adding forced induction to them you're basically asking for trouble. Now, I know Ferrari has done it. I know people have done it, but there is a much bigger financial backing for cars like that. Whereas it didn't sit well with me. And I thought from the very beginning, either GM's going to change the 5.5 liter flat plane crank over to a cross plane crank before they add twin turbo, or they're not going to do it at all. So Ralph, I think that they decided to scrap that idea and just go straight electric for the Zora. Because of the way the world is moving right now, I think most of the manufacturers of big V8 engines are trying to get out of that because of gas prices and EPA cracking down. They're trying to get into fully electric cars. And I know GM's one of the top ones on the list that wants to push everything they have to electric. So I think that had a big reason behind why they did it. But Ralph, I appreciate the super chat. That definitely helps the channel. Thank you so much. What do you guys think?
I was going to say something. I watched an interview, a brief interview, and honestly, it was probably on Instagram. But I saw a brief interview with Biden where he said, honestly, he doesn't care about gas prices because they're only going to get worse because we are in a transition period away from fossil fuels. And if that's the case, I have a feeling GM sees the writing on the wall and understands that regardless of how we feel or how they feel about the combustion engine, it's going away.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that. It wasn't that long ago, maybe a year ago, that the head of GM flat out said that they wanted to have more than half of their cars be fully electric by the year 2030. And we're coming up on that relatively quickly whenever you think about the fact that a lot of these Corvette models are years out at this point. Like the Zora, we probably won't see the Zora until 25, maybe 26, maybe even later, depending on how long they want this to run. If that's the case, we're getting real close to that 2030. And what better way to ring it in than Corvette being fully electric? I mean, I'm not a fan of electric vehicles. I'll just throw that out there. So the fact that Chevy is going to do this with the Corvette doesn't sit really well with me, but at the same time, it does seem to be the natural progression of things at this point. So without a doubt, I see it happening. I'm not happy about it. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely going to happen. Okay, so Indie Nation, that's the same article I read. He says that according to an article from Carpet, the designation of ZR1 stands for Zora Racer 1, and it was named after Zora Dunco, who is the regarded as the father of modern Corvettes. So I read that same article. I don't know that that's 100% accurate, though. That's the only problem. Yeah, so General, this is my big thing, too. I've said from the very beginning I wanted the Z06, even before the base C8 was out, because the Z06 is always the best bang for the buck. And in this situation, the Z06 may be the last internal combustion engine Corvette you can get. And if that's the case, I want it even more.
Until gas is $50 a gallon.
I still want it. I don't care. At this point, the amount of money I'm spending in gas on my Corvette and on my TRX, it doesn't matter. I want the car. I don't care about the rest. Because worst case scenario, it will sit in my garage and it will just look really pretty.
Yep. Steve knows about that.
I know about that. My wife loves that.
Yeah, Timothy says people will be putting baseball cards against the wheels in the Zora. I joked around for a while with Teslas, especially saying, you know, Teslas are cool, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I don't want them to replace my fun car. And if they ever did, I would spend thousands of dollars on the stereo system, and all I'd have is just exhaust noises playing from it as I'm driving along.
I mean, there's no question electric cars are fast and quick.
Right.
You know,
and that's the thing. I don't pretend to doubt that. I really don't. Like, I've been in a Plaid. A Plaid is freaking nuts, but at the same time, it there's something missing. The adrenaline, the rush, the total feel of, you know, just loud exhaust noises, big tires against the pavement. There's something missing with the electric approach. Now, I mean, of course, this could just be the old guy in me, I guess, speaking up. But at the end of the day, I really just don't feel like electric vehicles are as fun to drive.
No one wants an electric Harley.
Yeah, exactly. They stopped. They were going to do that. I don't even know if those actually made it into production, but they had an electric Harley for like a month, and then they said nope and canned it. All right, so moving on, guys. We got the capture test fleets. There was a hypersonic gray convertible spotted in the wild recently. I'm going to play a little video here for you guys. It's not anything too crazy, but it does show it in nice form.
Is that Amber's?
She'd like that to be the case, but honestly, I would take anything at this point. So, but just a real quick video snippet of the car. It is definitely a nice looking vehicle. There's no doubt about it. This is the convertible, which I'm warming up to the convertible look more and more every time I see it. But moving on past that one, guys, here is the NFT minted green color C8 Z06, and if we scroll down here underneath right here, C, it says the Chevrolet Corvette vehicle. It was down here at the bottom. I'm sorry, it was right here, right after completion of auction. This is where it said that it was going to be delivered in September of 2022, and I can actually show you that my print screen here. This is what it looked like on my cell phone. So if you look at the very last sentence there, it says the current anticipated delivery timeframe of the vehicle is September of 2022, but it is subject to change at the sole discretion of GM. So September 2022, and that whole sentence was deleted. So I feel like GM put that up there by accident, not really realizing that they had kind of locked themselves into that date, and they deleted it. Yeah, so the NFT, the green color here is one of one. If you got that color, you're going to pay for it, but you're also going to have a car that's probably worth a good bit at the end of the day as well. So guys, Shane is telling me we have 82 thumbs ups. We have almost 200 people watching, so if we could please hit that thumbs up button, I'd really appreciate it. Really helps the channel, really helps the Corvette community that we're building here grow. So, yeah, I think we're all in kind of agreement that the electric vehicles are, they're cool, but they're just missing something. Ralph Cruz says the same thing. He says he'd rather hear a raw engine scream than a silent vehicle. I think we're all on that same page. But guys, please smash that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. Moving on. The last bit of information here comes to me from a subscriber, like I said. I didn't want to give out any information on the name or anything because this person could get in trouble for sharing this information. But this kind of confirms our September delivery date. So he said that he saw my video about the GM, the green one-off auction car snafu, and the fact that they included that September 2022 delivery date. Since I value continued employment, he didn't want to post this on my YouTube page. That said, if I decided I wanted to use it to just keep any of his personal information out, which I did. Bottom line, the info originally included in that announcement is correct, as our plant has been advised by GM that the Z06 production will begin on or about Friday, August 26th. So guys, huge right here. Friday, August 26th. Yeah. So I forgot to put that on there. But Friday, August 26th, guys. This is when this thing is going to start production. So once it starts, obviously we are very likely to start seeing the cars come September. Now, this is coming to me from a subscriber who literally builds parts for GM for their cars, and they have to know these things. So that September 2022 release date is looking very, very likely. What do you guys think?
Hey, hopefully see the Corvette at Carlisle.
Not likely.
Yeah,
not a production model then.
Yeah, I mean, the car will probably be there in some capacity, but it's not going to be in anybody's hands by then because that Friday is literally while Corvettes at Carlisle is going on. So that is when the car is going to be built. Typically, the first cars built have about a month of quality control. So we'll see it probably the very end of August. Or, I'm sorry, September, by the time we actually see the cars in person. They're going to start building at the end of August. We're going to see them somewhere around the end of September.
Hey, I know I'm coming. I already told the people at work, but when is Carlisle again?
That Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I mean, but I'm sorry, what were the dates? I might have been reading the
24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th.
24th, okay.
All right, guys, so you heard it here. Jason, front seat driver, is coming to Corvettes Carlisle this year. Don't let him back out.
I know that thing that I've ordered won't be available, but it would work out perfect if they could.
I hope I hope that happens. That would be so awesome.
That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, Amber says we need a his and hers Z06. If we get even a his Z06, I'd be surprised at this point. But I don't know. The way the world's going. All right, so guys,
during the election.
This person that has the know, or that is in the know here, also says that the Z06 maximum target production will be 60 cars a day or 300 per week. Although with all the current supply constraints, they're probably going to be lucky to make even 75% of that in number initially. The one-off green car will most likely be one of the first Z06s off the line, along with Rick Hendrick's number 1 serial number Z06, to ensure that it's ready for charity auction in early September. Now, at the same time, the 2023 C8 inventory will decrease according to a max target of 120 per day or 600 a week. So just like we were told in the very beginning, the Z06 car pulls from the base C8 allocation. Well, not allocations, but if they can make 300 Corvettes in total, they have to pull from that 300 number. So they can't make 300 base C8s and an additional 300 Z06s. It's 300 total. So it is going to kind of put a damper even in the base C8 numbers just because of a lot of things going on in the world today, but specifically there's not enough people working the line or enough parts coming in. Now, what's interesting is this information goes a little bit further. I emailed him back and said, thanks for all that. And he said, P.S. GM is big on planning ahead. The E-Ray production is currently scheduled to begin on Friday, April 21st, 2023, which is the day before Earth Day. Now, tell me a better day to jump into the hybrid realm with a Corvette than the day before Earth Day. What do you guys think about that?
Whoa, Dr. Corvette.
Yeah.
Super chat.
Wow. So guys, number 5 super chat of the day. That is the highest amount of super chat I have ever received from one person. Dr. Corvette,
Right.
literally single-handedly supporting the Horsepower Obsessed and the Vet Syndicate crew here. Holy cow. Thank you so much, Dr. Corvette. And the name, I love it. It couldn't be better.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Exactly.
Guys, thank you so much. Anybody who's donated a super chat today, you guys are literally, you're knocking it out of the park. Wow. Yeah. I'm lost for words on that one. That is the most I've ever received for a super chat. That is fantastic. He says, thanks for all the hard work and info you give us all. You're very welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support. You guys are awesome. I feel like I don't say this enough. You guys are really, really awesome. Thank you so much. Blue Vet says that my wife deserves a his and her Corvette. So I guess that means Blue Vet's going to pay for it. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
You know, I will say I am actually excited about the E-Ray. I know you were talking. I was actually reading, so I was paying attention, but my focus was on the chat. But you know, the E-Ray coming out around Earth Day. Honestly, I never know when Earth Day is. It's, you know, it is what it is. But I am excited for the E-Ray. I think it's going to be a pretty cool car, and I'm excited because I'm actually very high on the list.
Nice.
So it makes more opportunity, better opportunity for me to get it. But I do think it's going to be a cool car, you know?
Yeah, I don't doubt that for a second. And honestly, I would gladly take a hybrid. All of the things I'm saying about electric cars don't apply to a hybrid.
Correct.
You still get that sound. You'll still get the big V8 6.2 liter. You're still going to get all the benefits, only with the added benefit of also having some electric motor driving the front wheels. So I'm good with hybrid.
Yes, 100%.
Well, Jason's going to have it first production month.
I hope.
You're that high.
Yeah, I hope.
You might have it before Justin. Ooh.
I'm going to tell you right now, one of the biggest things I like, yes, I'm number 3 on the list, but even better, the dealership that I am dealing with does not mark up their cars, and they are very adamant about that. They actually fired a guy that did a markup on a car one time. So that I'm cool with.
Yeah. See, I love that approach. I love the approach of a hard line and just staying behind it, saying, nope, never doing over MSRP. You dealerships out there. Yeah. And the thing is that the dealerships out there right now charging over MSRP, they think they're laughing about it. They think they're getting away with this. They're not getting away with it. What's going to end up happening is, sure, you're charging over MSRP and some people are buying it. You're making a bunch of money. Those people are never coming back to you once this whole automotive thing returns to normal. They're not ever coming back to you again because you literally, you were dishonest, you were greedy, and they're going to remember that. So from there forward, they're going to a different dealership.
Yep.
All right, guys. So the last thing here that I got from this particular person is he says the only other info that might be of interest to me is that he has been instructed by GM since the very beginning in 2020 to plan on supplying his particular part for the C8, the Z06, the E-Ray, and the Zora models. No Grand Sport or ZR1 models, at least to date. So, guys, he was told in 2020 to prepare this part for the Z06, E-Ray, and Zora models. These are models that we haven't even seen yet. And he was told about that. So The fact that they never mentioned Grand Sport or ZR1 to him tells me we are not getting a Grand Sport or a ZR1. We're getting the E-Ray and the Zora. So again, this is kind of confirmation of the fact that a ZR1 is not happening on an 8th generation Corvette. Now, this was something that I came up with initially just because, like I said, they were changing up the naming scheme. But the more information that comes out, the more likely it seems to me that that is going to be the case. So, I don't know. I wanted to keep this person's name out of it, so I just put this stuff, copied it out of his email, and put it into the document here. What do you guys think of this? I mean, do you think we're going to get a ZR1? Do you think it's feasible that the Zora will replace the ZR1? Let me know what your thoughts are.
You know, I was reading something here, and I was replying to RT Base. He said that a lot of people are getting off of the Z06 because of being so far down the list and getting on to the E-Ray list. And he nailed it. That's exactly why I'm on the E-Ray list, because I was on the Z06 list. And I'm like, okay, so I can get this thing in 17 years, or I can go ahead and try to get on the E-Ray list. And that's exactly what I did.
Yep, that's going to do it. So, guys, just kind of flipping back over to the video here. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more about this whole ZR1 thing, because I know a lot of you out there are thinking we're getting a ZR1, and it's only because of websites showing that they're testing a ZR1 or they're testing this or testing that. The problem is that this car looks very similar to any one of the models underneath that zebra wrap. So it's hard for any of us to say exactly what it is, but at this point, I think the E-Ray and the Zora are what we're getting. I don't think we're going to get a Grand Sport or a ZR1. Yeah, Davius King says, why not go out with a bang before all this electric stuff? Exactly. So I think the Z06 might be it. I think the Z06 is going to be the last internal combustion engine, minus, of course, the E-Ray will still have that internal combustion, but it's going to be basically the same engine as out of the base C8. So one last thing I wanted to talk about is an email, again, I got from a subscriber, and it's talking about a very radically different way to order this Z06. Now, I don't want to put any kind of guarantees behind this, because this ordering process is very different from how we placed orders for the C8. So you guys out there saying, you know, you don't like how GM does their order process because it allows people to charge over MSRP. GM is apparently looking to change the process of the order for the C8 Z06. I'm kind of hesitant to even show this, just because I don't want anybody to think that this is exactly what's going to happen, but it is possible. So I'm going to flip over to this real quick. This is from a subscriber of mine who contacted the Corvette concierge, and they gave him some information about how the Z06 was going to be built and ordered. Now, he starts out by saying that he has a dealership that is waiting for an allocation, and he would like to know, when will the website go live for building and pricing the new Z06/Z07? The person, Corvette concierge here, Cody T, says, as I mentioned, the website will be updated for the Z06 once produced models are available at dealerships to locate. Production on the Z06 is set to begin this summer. Is there anything else I can assist you with? He says, that's a bit vague. Are you saying building and pricing of the new Z06 will not be available until after the car goes into production? And he says that is correct, as the build and price tool is designed to locate existing models that match the vehicle you built. Will that be all for today?
Oh, that would suck.
So, yeah, the problem with this is I can see GM doing this thinking that they're solving an issue, but they're really just creating a bigger one. Like I said, guys, I don't want to make it sound like this is 100% right, but this did come from the Corvette concierge. So it is very possible that GM is toying and messing around with the idea of building a different way of delivering these cars to buyers. And if this ends up happening, it's going to end up being a bidding war. It's what's going to be. No one's going to pay MSRP for this car if it goes this way.
You got that right.
What are your guys' thoughts? I'm curious. I see a couple comments in the comment section here saying that this is crazy, and it kind of is. But I can totally see why GM would want to do this, because there is a problem that's being solved by doing this, but it's only creating a bigger one.
Oh, it's creating a
What do you guys think? What was that, Steve?
It's creating a far bigger one. It's literally going to, you said it's going to turn into a bidding war, or you're going to have dealerships that are really going to be a pain in the ass. They're going to be upcharging like crazy.
Yep. Yeah, and that's my thing. Vet Addict says what I've been thinking for a while, and this is the way Tesla handles it. You go on their website, you custom order a car, you press buy, you literally pay for the car, and they deliver it to your freaking driveway. That, I don't understand why that's not a thing for other manufacturers. That seems like the way to do this.
Especially when you have 11 cars at your dealership and 12 guys out there trying to sell them.
We can almost cut the dealership and the salesman totally out of it. And if we do that, that does solve the issue, because now there's no one there to upcharge. You're dealing directly with the manufacturer, who will put it right in your driveway.
I can assure you Amazon would be happy to come up with a trucking service to get those cars to your house.
I wouldn't be surprised that Amazon is somehow involved in the Tesla deliveries. It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, so Steve-O says he can't wait to pay over MSRP for the Z06 with a facepalm emoji. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's going to be incredibly hard to find this car at MSRP.
But minimum.
But
$3,000 over. Minimum.
Or music, exact.
Yeah. I like the idea. And this was another thing. Kind of factors into what we're reading here from the Corvette Concierge. They were initially, you were able to do the museum delivery with the build your own engine experience, which I really wanted to do that. I actually ran into a guy at Supercar Saturday down in Florida that had a book full of really high quality pictures that they take along the way of you literally building your own engine. So you're there with the torque wrenches, you're there with, putting everything together on your own engine. And then at the end, you sign that plaque, not the person who would normally sign it had no one build it. And I think that that's an incredible experience. I think that's awesome. And it's like $5,000, but they provide you with all these pictures, 2 different books that you can remember it by. You sign your own name. They provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner, apparently. And all of that's really cool. But in order for them to do that, I've read online that they have to have a surplus of cars available for you to even do that. So you can't do that on a car that you're ordering and literally waiting for it to be built from scratch. It literally has to be a car that's sitting there that has a very specific spec to yours, I guess, that you can go down there and now build the engine for. I think that kind of factors into what we're looking at here with the Corvette Concierge, saying that basically once you go on the website to build your own car, if it can locate a dealership that has it, that's how you buy it. Yeah, guys, one last thing. If you're enjoying the information here, just like Front Seat Driver said, please hit that thumbs up button, guys. We had a lot of really cutting edge information available today, and it was because of all of you guys. It's because of those thumbs ups, because people are seeing these videos and they're sharing their information. They're talking about where they work and how the information is being used between them and GM. That's where we get this information from, guys. So thumbs up if you could, please. It really, really helps the channel.
I agree with Vet Addict.
Let the dealers still sell Tahoes and Silverados when we spend $100K plus. Let's have those special delivered. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is it could be that way. It doesn't have to be all or none. I mean, some of your higher end, more expensive cars, make the delivery process of those more exclusive. Make it so we're paying for something more than just a bigger engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still a proponent of GM. I mean, a Corvette leaving GM and being its own entity. Get completely away from.
Yeah, I could see I could see that happening to some degree, but my problem with that is I think GM would get greedy, and Corvette being its own entity is going to end up
Coffee.
spawning SUVs and all kinds of crap that I don't really
Like-
think should happen.
Just like the what is it? Yaris?
Yeah,
Uh,
Urus.
Yaris, yeah.
Honestly,
Well,
that's
Could still go to your for service.
yeah.
They would still need your car, but as far as delivery goes, I think it would be a lot cooler to have it just delivered to your house.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's funny you mentioned that, Shiny Fenders, because that I was talking to somebody down in Florida, one of the people that work at the Blackout Tinting Miami down there, and he mentioned that same thing. He said, "Well, what happens when you need to go to the dealer for service? You take it to the dealer for service. It doesn't matter where it was delivered. The only thing that would potentially affect is if the car was delivered with some sort of flaw. If it had a flaw in the paint, or something was broken right off of delivery, it wouldn't be fixed immediately. That would be literally the only drawback, and that's a small one if you ask me, because you could still just take it to the dealer the next day and get it fixed."
Exactly. Yeah, we had a friend I did in one of my videos who there were some issues with above the windshield, and he just took and had him fix it. It was post him having picked up the car.
Yeah.
So
And that's usually the way it goes nowadays anyway, because if you take, even if it's on the initial delivery, odds are good they're not going to have that part on hand.
right.
LMN7_7 says, "Hello guys, when is the release date?" It is September 2022 is when we're likely to see this car in people's driveways. Production will start around the end of August. We'll probably see these cars in driveways around the end of September. William Richardson, thanks for tuning in. He says he added the 2 quarts of transmission fluid and he had to replace the left rear tire. Total price was just a little over $1,000. Wow.
What
That's
happened to
up
the
there.
tire?
Yeah, what happened to the tire, William? Yeah, Vet Addict, that's my big thing. I think that says it all. And that's the reason why it doesn't happen, is that the dealership is going to lose out on a lot of fees, a lot of the ability to mark cars up. They're going to lose out on all that stuff. Yeah, so Ted V, yes, it would be. He says, but if you have to order from an inventory, that wouldn't be that at a fixed MSRP price, because the dealership who owns one in inventory can't charge a premium to another dealer, can they? No, but not technically. But at the end of the day, if they have the car sitting there, they also don't have to give it to another dealership. They can just let it sit there. Yeah, they're not going to just give it for MSRP. They're not going to do it when they can have it sit there and have someone come in and buy it off their floor.
Yep.
Sounds like Vandergriff, huh, Steve?
Yeah, sounds exactly like Vandergriff.
So Shannon says, thoughts on the C8 ZR1 info today. The GM Authority was showing what they thought was a C8 ZR1 testing. We talked a lot in this video about the fact that there is probably not going to be a C8 Corvette ZR1, and what they were showing there was most likely just either a Z06, an E-Ray, or possibly the next model called a Zora underneath all that wrapping. There's no way for them to know that was a ZR1. I do believe GM is actively testing all of these models, but I don't think we're getting a Grand Sport, and I also don't think we're getting a ZR1. Yeah, William, you can get tire insurance from GM. You can also get them from pretty much anywhere you buy tires from. They offer an insurance package against this exact thing, running over nails, screws, that kind of thing.
If he has discount tire where you guys are at or where he's at, they offer it.
Yep.
All right, guys. So we are at what Shane said we were at, like 117 thumbs ups. We still have more viewers than that on here, so I would really appreciate if any of you guys out there who have not hit thumbs up, if you could please click that little thumbs up logo. It really helps the channel a lot. I know there's a couple of you out there that you don't want to say your name in here because of obvious reasons, so you're not going to click that thumbs up, but I'd really appreciate it if you did. 6 Foot Zeus, what's going on, man? I talked a little bit about the car show today. For those of you just tuning in, I am putting on a car show on July 9th here in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. I would really like for all of you to attend. I have some information about it up on my community tab on YouTube. The address, the time, which will be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Doesn't matter if you have a Corvette or not. Come out, hang out, eat some food. It'll be a good day. Yeah, General Lee says his salesman told him GM may not offer a warranty on the carbon fiber wheels. If I had to guess, they probably won't, because carbon fiber wheels are typically not warranted because of the cost. Yeah, Shannon, I did see that article. I don't believe that it's a ZR1. I do believe they are testing C8 Corvette performance variants, but I don't think it's actually the ZR1 because I don't think it's going to exist. I think after the Z06, I think it's going to go straight to the Zora. But anyway, guys, what are you thinking about all of this information today? What do you think about the fact that GM has filed for the third time the Zora trademark, which obviously indicates we are getting a Zora, but what do you think?
I have a question for you. What do you think the horsepower would be on this car? The Pininfarina has 1,000 horsepower, fully electric car that is insane looking, but again, golf cart, baddest looking golf cart, fastest golf cart I've ever seen in my life.
I think the Zora will be 1,000 horsepower, just because that's right around where the Plaid is. That's right around where a lot of the high-end electric vehicles are, is 1,000.
I think the Pininfarina runs like $1 million. I've seen it in person, but I can't remember what the price was. But
yeah,
I think it was $1 million.
Well, the Tesla, the Plaid is around 150. I think the Zora is going to push well into the 200s.
Yeah, I would agree.
So it's likely to be 1,000 at least. It's going to be fast. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But like I said, at the end of the day, there's more. It takes more than being fast to be a good feeling sports car.
Yeah.
Shane wants to know, how are we doing with restocking the XL Vet Syndicate T-shirts? As far as I know, that's still being worked on.
We have one XL.
Oh, so Shane, we do have an XL if you want to buy it. You can actually click on the link in the description. Ralph Cruz says, I'm coming from New Jersey. Is there a hotel near your car show that we can stay at, Justin or Jit, at my house? No. Believe it or not, my house is not that close to where the show is going to be. So it would make more sense to stay at a hotel. And actually, yes, there is. It is right off of the turnpike. So there's a hotel right there you could stay at, probably not even 5 minutes from where the show will be. If you're going to be there, Ralph, shoot me an email if you could. I want to try to gather up some information of everybody who is coming, so I have a good idea of who's going to be there. Tyler B says, thoughts on when we can see pricing. Tyler, I think we're going to see pricing. It's got to be pretty soon here. If the car is going to be built at the end of August and delivered at the end of September, we really have to have pricing probably. I would have guessed we would have already had it, to be honest with you, but probably a month. It can't be much more than a month before we start hearing some serious information about this. William says, I need big boy size. How big boy? Douglas Bobgandis. Maybe they're pulling a page out of Apple's book. What page is that? Yeah, Zora should be offered with an actual plaid paint scheme. I can't think of anything uglier than that, but I guess.
And that would still be a classic.
Yeah, it would. All right, guys. So I think we're going to start wrapping this up. Robert Smith says, does this mean you can't custom order a Z06? No, I would not say that. At this point, I'm going to leave that part up to probably a rumor or speculation at this point. It did come from the Corvette concierge, so I want to give it a little more, value than a typical rumor. But at the same time, I really don't know if GM would do something like that. Yeah, Christopher, that's kind of what I was thinking too, but it really doesn't read that way. Like I said, I don't want to put a lot of value into what we read from the Corvette concierge, because I have to assume they're wrong about it. I have to. And as much as I could see it happening, I really hope that it's wrong. So let's not worry too much about that part at this point, because I until I hear it from somewhere else, I don't want to put any kind of actual value to it. But Dad's Garage, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Brian says if the weather's good, he'll be there at the car show. That's awesome. I appreciate it. I hope to meet all of you guys there. I really do. I know Jason, front seat driver, would be there if he didn't have something else going on.
Yeah, I'm getting old.
Yeah, he has
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody wish Jason, front seat driver, a happy early birthday. It's coming soon. Yeah, so AWOL said, I'm sure you discussed price already. What's everybody thinking? I'm guessing 98K. We did talk about it a little bit. We're right around 90K before options and stuff. So I think it's going to be right around 90. Shane, he's telling on you guys. We only have 130 thumbs ups. We still have more than that on viewers. If you guys could please hit that thumbs up button. The thumbs up really helps out the channel. I'd really appreciate it as one final goodwill gesture towards the Vet Syndicate crew here. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. I think we're going to wrap this up, though. So unless you guys have any last second questions here, yeah. So I think that's it, guys. We are going to go ahead and wrap this up. One last time, guys, check out the Vet Syndicate shirts. Check out the Instagram account. It will be in the link in the description down below. We got Jason right here, front seat driver. Steve over there, Protective Dad Pranks. Together we are Vet Syndicate. You can check out the Instagram account, like I said, in the link down below. We're going to be doing a lot of car shows in the future. This particular one coming up is going to be my car show, but of course I am part of the Vet Syndicate crowd, so you can see Vet Syndicate will be represented there as well with some t-shirts and everything you guys can purchase. In the future, I will be heading down to Texas to hit up some of the car shows with Jason and Steve as well. So that's it.
We had 30, last week, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we would have done this weekend, but I think it's going to rain. So,
yeah, guys, the Vet Syndicate crew is doing really well. Instagram is growing quickly. They're putting together car shows that are 30 people deep already, and I mean it's only going to get bigger. So you guys might as well get into this now while you can, because it's going to get big quick. The Corvette clubs in general are huge, and this is not quite like your typical Corvette club. This is a little bit more built around you and less around having to have a club. So I really like the whole Vet Syndicate idea, and that's why obviously I was part of putting it together with these two guys. But I think that's it. What do you guys have any closing words?
Steve?
well, I was going to let you talk first, but no, I just say subscribe to Vet Syndicate on Instagram. We're trying to blow it up. We've only been on Instagram for a month, and tonight we should hit 2,000 followers. It's crazy. We almost hit like 180 just yesterday.
Yeah.
Behind this, that is the absolute best way to talk to one of us any time of the day. I'm always on Vet. I know Jason is too. It's insane. The messages are crazy.
Hey, and listen, when we started this, it was like Justin just said, it's about everybody else. It's about you guys. We want you to send us your pictures. DM us pictures. If you have some good video of your car, send it. We want to tag you. We're not like all those alpha whatever, DM us and then you DM them and they're like, oh yeah, how much? No. We're doing this because we want to celebrate you and your car. So man, if you have a good photos, man, send them to us. DM us on @Vet Syndicate, vet_syndicate.
Yeah. Always free. Always free.
Yeah, guys, this is not ever going to be something that has any kind of entry fees or anything. But real quick, Kerry Glock, I do have a rain date. It's the next day. So it will be July 9th is the show. If it rains, it will be the following day, July 10th, which is a Sunday. So we'll go from Saturday
And
to
that-
Sunday. What's that?
I said, and that is my birthday. So you guys keep me in mind. Just wish me a happy birthday that day, just in your head.
Jason
No.
doesn't turn every
if
day.
if I can remember, I'm going to make a real nice video for you, and we'll send it to you. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it. So we'll catch you next Monday. Same time, same place. Take it easy.
All right. Peace.